Money is the root of all evil. Money only creates problems. People who have more money are greedy. Money doesn't do anything. Money only magnifies who you are. Lakshmi grows when she goes out of the house. Money never grows in a bank account.
Okay.
Money grows in circulation. This is a proven fact. It moves from those who don't value it to those who do. It moves from those who suffocate it to those who liberate it.
Have you manifested money?
Yes. While giving money, it goes, जाना, अपना काम करके वापस आना और दो चार दोस्तों को साथ में लेके आना. With my eagles, we change it from money comes and money goes to money comes and money grows. Because the more you see it grow, the more inspired you become to grow it.
Chasing money and attracting money. How are they different and how are they same?
Growing wealth is not about the amount at all. It is only about consistent investment. Raise your value. Add more value to those around you. And it does.
Welcome to yet another episode of Manifestation with Prachi Mayekar.
I think we started off with the basics of manifestation.
Yes.
And now it's diving deep.
Absolutely. And very important things are going to be discovered in this podcast, I feel, because we're talking about money and manifesting abundance of money.
Everybody's favorite tricky subjects. Let's go for it.
So can we do one live session of manifesting money?
Okay. Do you want to become wealthy?
Of course.
What's your definition of wealth?
To be able to not think so much when I buy something or eat something.
Freedom.
Right? Financial freedom, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
So essentially, the ultimate goal of wealth creation is financial freedom. And financial freedom is essentially time freedom. The ability to be able to say yes or no whenever you want it, however you want it, with whoever you want it. That's the ultimate goal.
Yes.
But it always starts with the basic foundation, which is stabilizing your income. Right? If you have a stable money foundation, only then can you have growth. If you have growth, only then can you have freedom. So it's step by step. So step number 1, financial stability. What is your goal there? Are you happy with your financial stability now? Or do you think, no, I need to increase my income and make it more stable?
I have to increase my income.
Yeah. So that would be your starting point.
Okay.
So now if you say, this is my money goal, that I want to earn more. Okay, so how much more? So initially you come up with a number, but you don't visualize a number. You come up with a number only because you need to know how much money you need for the lifestyle that you want. Right? Is it few lakhs, few crores, whatever that number is. Once you have that number, you know what you're going to do with that number. That's what you visualize. So now that you have 1 crore, 5 crores in your bank account, what does that do for you? How do you utilize that money? How do you invest that money? Who do you help that money with? How does it improve your lifestyle? How does it contribute to your loved ones or to society? What else do you do with that money? All of these emotional charges, right? How proud your parents are of you. How free you are to travel whenever you want to, if that's what you like. How your lifestyle has upgraded and you're able to sustain it without worrying about anything. These are all emotional charges that we give it. Right? This is what you visualize. So then you forget the number, right? But it's like this. Let's say if a person starts at a few lakhs, like right now maybe their income is a few lakhs a year, but they're looking at going to like 5 crores, 10 crores, 15, 50 crores, whatever. That leap is not possible unless you feel a connection to it. So always remember that the number that scares you a little but excites you a lot is your number.
Okay.
If the number only scares you, it's not your number. Yeah. Because if it only scares you, the feeling is negative. But if you say that, hey, you know what? This is exciting. Let me see if I can go up to 5 crores this year. This excites me. Like there's a positive charge to it. And it must scare you a little. Because if it doesn't, it's in your comfort zone. Then what's the point? Right? Yeah. So let's say if I ask you right now that in the next 5 years, what do you see yourself earning? Okay, you will come up with a number. Right?
Yes.
And that, do you have a number in your mind?
Yeah.
You don't have to share it if you
Yes, I do.
that number. Now that number is something that you're comfortably able to do. That's why you came up with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Now add a little more to that number. If I ask you to put a 0 at the end of it, it can get very intimidating. Yeah, that, oh my God, no.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. If you're feeling that, that's not your number. Now reduce it by half. See how does that feel.
Okay.
Yeah. If it still doesn't fit, reduce it by half further. See how that feels.
Better.
Better? Does it feel achievable?
Yes.
Good, but it's a little scary.
Yeah.
That's your number.
Wow.
Yeah. So now you have a number. Now go into what that number will do for you. And that's what you focus on.
Oh.
And what I've realized is this, that everything that I wanted to do with the money that I had, like whatever I was intending to earn, like, I don't know, somehow numbers don't drive me. I used to be afraid of numbers even when I was younger. It doesn't connect with me. But what does connect with me is the benefit of that number. So for me, fortunately, the manifestations have worked because I've only thought about what I'll do with that money. I've never really gone into the number space. And it has always worked. Right? And the times when I hit a roadblock, I know, like if I face a challenge today, if I don't hit that space of, oh my God, I didn't achieve this year, something went off, I know that it's a manifestation of the previous version of me. So whenever you get stuck, please remember this consequence. You remember we spoke about sowing the seed and
Yes.
the tree grows?
Yes.
Yeah. So every single emotionally charged thought is a pebble in the pond of the universe. If the pebble has dropped, there will be ripples. If there are ripples, there will be waves that come back. You just don't know when those waves will come back. So if everything is going fantastically well for you right now, and one hit, if you take one bad hit, don't resign and say, this is my reality. This is the only place I'll end up. No matter how hard I work, it doesn't change. No. That wave was a consequence of a previous thought pebble. Came from somewhere else. You just didn't know that it came so late. Right? Remember, what you see now is your perceived reality, a consequence of the previous version of you. Don't focus on that reality. Focus on the reality you want to create. And go back. Go back to manifesting. Go back to visualizing. Go back to connecting with the end goal. And do the process again. So you pull yourself up. You know?
Yeah.
Like I said, life is not a straight line. It will always be ups and downs. And for good reason. We learn.
So, what is the first thing a person should do who's in financial trouble or who's not financially stable yet to manifest money?
Okay, so multiple things at play here. First is discovering why is it that you're struggling with your finances. So some people come off saying that, look, I'm not as lucky as you. I was not born in a well-to-do family and we've always had money trouble. That is evidence of their programming with money.
Okay.
Right? So if a person has risen from a poverty mindset, so to speak, to a wealth creator's mindset, it's because of their conscious effort that they believe they can generate wealth for themselves. Right? So that's the primary thing. Understanding that my mindset about money is the reason I have trouble with money. So discovering what are my limiting beliefs about money. I'll give you a very simple example, but this is very difficult to spot. So let's say, you've heard how we say politicians are corrupt. Right? So this is a very common statement. A lot of people you've heard have made this statement. Yeah. And if there's a discussion around the office water cooler and everybody's saying, this politician guy, everybody joins in. So we don't even know, subconsciously we're so dictated by a belief that is not even our own. Like out of 8 people, if you ask them, how many of you actually faced a corrupt politician face to face? Have you had a personal experience with a corrupt politician? Most of them will say no. So where did it come from? It came from somebody else's experience. But because this is sitting in their subconscious as a very prominent belief, tomorrow if they get offered, there's a proposition for business from a politician. But because deep-seated belief tells them that politicians are corrupt, what are they likely to do? They are likely to push that proposal away. They will push it away with the fear that I don't want to be caught up in a web of corruption and I don't want to be disrespected by my family. Yeah. I will shun this opportunity. So they are sabotaging an opportunity without verifying whether that politician is actually corrupt or not. Now imagine the politician not corrupt. He or she is a good guy. you've lost an opportunity based on something that wasn't even your own experience. So, and politician being corrupt is a money belief, right? So there are countless beliefs like this that are dictating how you are attracting or pushing money away. So unless you become conscious of what is subconscious, it will keep dictating everything in your life. And money is no exception.
Can you give an example of how can we become conscious about our subconscious?
Basically, in your life, look at where you are manifesting a lot of crap. Wherever you're facing a lot of problems, that is why your subconscious is dictating your choices without your permission. Because wherever things go wrong, it is evidence of the fact that you have chosen beliefs that are restricting or limiting you, that are not supporting your progress.
Like?
Because wherever you're consciously choosing positive beliefs, you will see a change in results, right? So let's say, for example, in romantic relationships, if a person is repeating a pattern of, say, attracting good enough men but bringing out really bad qualities in them, or attracting a person who's not right for them. So this is a pattern, right? A pattern definitely shows, it's evidence of negative beliefs. Something about that person, herself, himself, is so negative that it ends up manifesting in a heartbreak or a big failure or a big problem, right? A toxic relationship. So identifying that maybe I think this way about me. Like, for example, if a person believes abuse is an expression of love, they will end up attracting abusive partners. Yeah? Any kind of verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, but abusive partners. And then they will want to pull away from them because it's hurtful. And this pattern will keep repeating till they identify this as a limiting belief and change it to abuse is not an expression of love. A person who genuinely loves you respects you. And so when they stand up, like I did, stand up against abuse and say, this doesn't serve me and I will not put up with it. I love myself and I love you and I want that love reciprocated. Then you stop attracting that particular problem in your life, an abusive relationship in this case. So yeah, look at the results in your life. That's the fastest way to identify where your subconscious is dictating you without your permission.
Okay, so how can we connect this in terms of money?
Okay, so a lot of negative, whatever money problems a person has. Okay, sometimes people don't have enough money coming in. So the money belief is rotating around why there isn't enough money in their life, right? So maybe they are actually repelling money at a basic level. For example, okay, this may not be the belief, but it could be that too much money corrupts you. Money is the root of all evil. Money only creates problems. People who have more money are greedy. Now, if you have a belief system like that, if you have a great money-making opportunity, on a subconscious level, you are likely to push it away. Because your subconscious programming says, if this money comes into my life, I will become corrupt. I will be known as greedy. My family will disown me or disrespect me. I will not be respected by people that matter to me. I don't want this problem. But this is not a conscious thought process. It's a very subconscious thought process. It's happening without your permission.
Exactly.
It's happening on autopilot. Right?
Yeah.
So our requirement is to intervene, interrupt the process right there, that thought process, and ask, if I have more money, what will I do with it? Now, you see a lot of wealthy people doing a lot of charity. Suddenly now there's more respect for them. Because now the belief system says, haha, there's a lot of money, but it is being used for the good of benefit of other people. Yeah. Now, if that's the case, why don't you make bucket loads of money and start contributing? Why don't you get rich and help other people? That's a better belief to have.
Exactly.
Rather than pushing money away. So this is in the case of people who probably don't have enough coming in. There is another category that has a lot coming in but can't keep. So I've heard people say things like, "Paisa aata hai, rukta nahi hai. Money comes in, money goes. Money comes in." You know, like, I don't know where's my money. Like, they are not able to track it, to manage it, and that's why they cannot grow it. So in my community with my eagles, we change it from money comes and money goes to money comes and money grows. Yeah, so whenever money comes into my existence, it multiplies. Now, this is a great belief to have. So to support this belief, inspired action, yeah, studying on a regular basis about how you can grow your money, and observing, watching, monitoring the growth of your money so that you watch it multiply. Because the more you see it grow, the more inspired you become to grow it. So you're doing both, right? You're changing your belief system and you're changing your actions to support the new belief system.
Right, but at a point when you manifest for money, you seek a lot of money. There is also a fear that people may perceive me as a materialistic person,
Right.
someone who runs behind money.
Right.
So how do I tackle that?
That's another belief again, and it's a limiting belief.
Yes.
Right. So what substitutes that belief? What would you suggest is a more positive belief to replace this one with? One could be that because I make so much more money than I need, I help other people.
Mm.
I just have the ability to make more than I need. I'm gifted. I'm blessed. More money comes into my existence, and that's why more money flows towards other people from me. So, utilizing that money, not just for charity, you don't have to give away all the time. The more money you have, the more businesses you create, the more employment you're creating for other people. You're helping them put food on their table. What could be a bigger blessing than that? Right? So it doesn't always have to be about giving away stuff for free. It can be about an exchange, of product, service, value. They offer you their services, you pay them for their services, they put food on their table. It's a win-win situation.
But also, with a lot of money, you tend to, look at money as evil. It is making you do bad. It is giving you a lot of freedom that you can get into a wrong path.
All of these beliefs are a consequence of our conditioning. Almost all of them are not our personal experience.
Mm.
So I would suggest that if you want a positive personal experience, don't fall for what you're told, question it.
Mm.
See if you've actually experienced it. And if you haven't, don't buy it. Don't, sell your soul into it. See if you can change your reality into a more positive experience and then sell that belief to your children.
Mm.
That, hey, it does look like to the world that, a person may be materialistic because they're chasing money. But when you have more money, a poor person can help one person. A rich person can help 10,000 people. What would you rather do? Children are obviously going to say, help more people. Make more wealth then. Go out and get rich. This is a great belief system to have.
Totally, yeah.
So, and also it's what we have heard people say, that money makes you corrupt, money makes you evil, money doesn't do anything. Money only magnifies who you are. So if you're a cruel person, if you're unkind, magnify it. The more wealth you have, the worse you'll get. But if you're a kind person, you're generous, you're helpful, magnify it. That's how you'll improve.
Yeah. Also, I've heard this thing. When you give more money or more of anything, you get more of the same.
Yes. In fact, I know that for real. Like in my own experience, I used to come from a lack mindset earlier, and I was raised to believe that you should not live in anyone's debt. Karze mein mat jiyo, right? Loan is not a good thing.
Yeah.
As empowering as that belief sounds on the surface, I learned it only the hard way that it is what you borrow money for that defines whether you're wealthy or poor. If you're borrowing money for a 55-inch screen, that's not a wealth. That's not wealth. That's not an asset. Right?
Yeah.
You're borrowing money for your education. You're going to get yourself employed in a good place, or you're going to start a business. You're going to create employment opportunities for other people. Good or bad? Good. Right? Because with that borrowed wealth, you will create more wealth for yourself, not just return this with interest, but create more for others too. Right? So understanding that sometimes a belief may look like it's positive, but like I said, question it. Question whether or not this makes sense. And the more you are creating, the more you are giving, the more room you are creating for more to come in. So when you're giving something that you have, you are creating room to receive more of that. So how beautiful is that? That because I have received so much, I'm going to give you some. I'm going to give them some. I'm going to, distribute, circulate. Because Lakshmi grows when she goes out of the house. Money never grows in a bank account.
Okay.
Money grows in circulation. Right? So what happens to money when you invest? It's out of your house. It's in some other instrument where it's being circulated in the economy.
Yeah.
When Lakshmi gets to dance around, she comes back home multiplied. Right? That's why, mythologically speaking, you see Vishnu is lying down like this, and there's his posture of, in a supine position, and Lakshmi is sitting at his feet. he doesn't chase her. He's his most authentic, powerful energy, and she comes because he values her. Right? So money moves, this is a proven fact. It moves from those who don't value it to those who do. It moves from those who suffocate it to those who liberate it. That's why there's, in the economy, when money is going around, it is always growing. So, and there's this beautiful thing that I used to teach my community. Whenever you give money, like our energy is a little, it's lack and it's restricted and it's low when we are giving money, right? Because we're like, Arey baapre, so much of money is going, like I wanted to come back, right?
Yeah.
So if that is the energy with which you give money, that's the amount of money that will come back. Okay, so here's what we will do. We will bless the money every time we give it. So even if you're paying the auto rickshaw wala, if you're investing in mutual funds, if you're donating money, if you're helping out a friend on a loan, whenever I give money, I always say, you will come back 10 times. So in Hindi, one of my friends, Ashish, he taught me this phrase. He says, while giving money, it goes, जाना, अपना काम करके वापस आना और 2-4 दोस्तों को साथ में लेके आना.
Oh.
So beautiful, right?
Yes.
So in English, it translates to go do your job and get a couple of friends with you when you come back. How powerful is that?
Let me take that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so every time when money leaves your hands, bless it so that it grows and it comes back, because your name is written on it. It's not written on the note, it's written on the money. It'll come back in any form.
That's a great thing. I'm sure a lot of people are going to bless their money henceforth. Yeah. So now moving on to your personal experience with manifesting money.
Okay.
Have you manifested money?
Yes. And I have also failed very miserably multiple times.
Why?
Again, negative beliefs. So what happens is, just because I know doesn't mean I'm able to do it every time. Because there are a lot of deep-seated beliefs which come up in different experiences. Sometimes you've crossed that barrier pertaining to that situation, you've overcome and you've created a great result. Next time around, some other negative belief is taking charge. So essentially, belief system changing or upgrade is like removing weeds from your garden. It's a constant process. You have to be at it consistently, and you have to consciously watch where weeds are growing again and again and pull them out and replace them. So yes, I have definitely manifested. In fact, one of my earliest conscious decision of manifesting money was 2016, when I attended the Millionaire Mind Intensive, and this deepest gratitude for that opportunity having come into my life, because I was broke. I was in debt at that point in time. My dad had been through multiple surgeries, either ICU or surgery. He was tremendously unwell. It was not a great time financially for us. I was not doing particularly well. And it was shameful that I had no knowledge of saving instruments or investing, nothing. Like I didn't know. So as a daughter, I was extremely ashamed of where I was. And I wanted to change my situation. I wanted to improve it. And the universe started responding to that. And the opportunity to attend this program came into my life. I attended it 3 days. It helped me get a physical handle on how to handle money alongside, because I had an income, money was coming in, because I was so aggressive with applying what I had learned. 2016 October, I learned this. 2018 January, I sponsored my first underprivileged higher level education child. She was studying for, becoming a doctor. And I remember I cried that day, and I was like, people need to do this. People need to realize that their self-worth is not attached to how much money they make, but to the power of contribution once they make money. Things changed. At that point in time, everything changed for me, because I realized when you have the correct driving force, money is just a byproduct. It's just a pursuit of excellence. That's what it is. And then after that, it's just been like a roller coaster, right? Things get better, things don't get as good, then they get better. And this is common in life for everybody. There's no straight graph. There will be highs and lows, but what you need to remember is, when you're low, is that if you could create that high once, you can create multiple times. and that your current circumstances are a consequence of the past version of you, but your future will be a consequence of the present version of you. So be the present wealthy version. Be of the wealth mindset. Don't be of the poverty mindset. Be very conscious.
Can you give an example of somebody who you helped them manifest for money and from debt they
Wow.
have gone to great heights?
Not at the top of my mind though, but yes, I do remember. I wouldn't say this was from debt, but this was a very big leap in self worth. So, your net worth is directly proportionate to your self worth.
Whoa.
So, whatever you believe you're worth is what you will demand from the world. And whatever you demand from the world, that when the world perceives your value, is what you will get as remuneration. So, like, for example, when I do my voiceover jobs, I don't compromise on my budget. So, when people say, can you reduce it a little bit? We're having budget issues. I'll be like, no, you can call somebody else, no hard feelings. Call me when you have my budget. And I believe when your name is written on it, it's coming to you. You don't have to compromise for it. So one of my community participants, I remember, he was slightly shy. He was not very aggressive. He was not very outspoken. And he had designed a software product with his company, like in his company itself, for some cost saving thing. Okay. So he had done such a good job that his company was using it left, right, and center. But because he had created it while he was at work with them, his contract said that they also have a right to it. Okay, so he realized the value of that product. And during our entire pushing your self worth to a higher net worth session, it was called Money Matrix, that program which I did. He said, I'm going to go and ask them for what I rightfully deserve. He approached his seniors. He had a conversation with them. They gave him a 40% increase in salary. 40% is insane. Nobody gets it. But the reason he got it is because he realized his value.
Totally.
So 40% increase in salary plus ownership rights along with the company for that software. So the copyright or whatever he's supposed to have, his name is also on it. Not entirely the company's. So inspired by this, another lady who was also in his tribe, she felt inspired and she's working with her brother. Even today, I think she and her brother run the company together. She said, I'm very much inspired with this. I'm going to ask my brother for a raise. He's not given me a raise in a long time. She went and did the same thing and she got a raise. So it was infectious in a good way, contagious. And so, yes, I have seen when people actually realize their own value, that they are able to translate that into financial gain. Because truly, when you understand what you bring to the table, you don't hesitate to ask for something in return.
Chasing money and attracting money.
How
are they different and how are they same?
Extremely different when you're chasing something. The only definition of a chase is that something is running away from you. So the moment we start to chase something, we are already subconsciously programmed to believe that it's running away from me. We may not say it, but we feel it. And as far as attracting is concerned, you're stable, you're steady, you're certain that it's moving towards you.
Yeah.
And if it's moving towards you, will you run?
No.
You'll stand steadier so that you can receive it with open arms when it heads towards you. So yeah, very big difference. And I think great that you asked, because especially when it comes to money, these two terms do come up a lot, attracting and chasing. And yeah, even in my own personal experience, whenever I've chased money, I've failed miserably. I have. Because that's stupid. It's ridiculous. You pursue excellence, money will come. Master your craft, money will come. Raise your value. Add more value to those around you, money will come. And it does.
Can you explain or give a easy way to manifest money?
I believe the easiest way to attract money into your existence is to wake up every single morning and ask the universe to give you opportunities for wealth creation. So every single day when you wake up, tell the universe that I want to be wealthier than yesterday. What can you give me today that will lead me there? So what you're doing is essentially every single day you're feeding your RAS, you're feeding your entire being the desire to look for opportunities for wealth creation. So instead of looking at how little money there is there in your bank account, you're now looking for how can I add to it? So if there is an opportunity that 5 other people may not see, you will see. Just because you were looking for it. So even in a conversation, somebody is just discussing some random business or whatever, you will actually notice a loophole or probably a gap that you can fill. And this happens every single time. Why? Because you are now programming yourself for wealth creation. Yeah, how else can I get wealthy? What else can I do that will make me wealthier? How else can I add value to other people's lives? Where else can I get remunerated for something that I'm brilliant at? That's the only focus you need to have. Rather than sitting and looking at your bank statement and thinking, oh my God, there isn't enough, I will pay my bills. Because that'll grow, right? Wherever your attention goes, energy goes, and it grows.
Yes, exactly. So, but when you're talking about manifestation, it's all so positive and spiritual and everything.
Yeah.
So, I have this doubt: can manifestation have a darker side?
You mean negative
A
consequence?
negative consequence?
I think negative results are manifested all the time, but people don't do it deliberately. They're just not aware that they are manifesting not good stuff for themselves because they don't have the awareness that they are master manifestors, that they are the creators themselves. So they are bringing about negative consequences for themselves without realizing that it's them.
Mm.
And like I said earlier, that they're giving their power away. They're saying, I'm in a bad mood because my wife or my husband fought with me. Giving your power away. I'm poor because my parents didn't educate me about money. Giving your power away. The moment you realize that your emotional state is not bringing you the consequence you desire, take your power back and say, no more. No more of this emotional state. I want to create more positive results and I will dictate what comes in my life. So being a manifester is essentially about standing up and saying that I am the creator of my reality. Nobody else gets to dictate what I experience. And if I get to choose what I want to experience, I'm going to experience this.
Wow. Okay, and also I have a few words here, which are like the negative response of manifestation.
Okay.
So as I respond with whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
First one is unconscious manifestation.
Yeah. Okay. So unconscious manifestation is again the same thing that we are creating our life as we go. We are just creating results by being alive. So that is unconscious manifestation. Conscious is when you know you are the one who's creating it.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Manifestation burnout.
Wow. I think burnout applies to everything, not just manifestation. But I think when you overdo the whole visualization bit, I think people are burned out, So don't, like I said, create it, visualize it, take inspired action, let it go. Repeat the process.
When do you think this burnout will happen when you visualize?
Most people I feel get burned out because they are so desperate. Because when you're desperate, you keep doing it till you see the result. And you don't see the result if you're desperate. So you get tired. You do get burned out. But if you are in a state of faith, you'll never get burned out. Because in a state of faith, you are a receiver. You're not a block, you're a receiver. And you're like, okay, if this doesn't come in the form that I anticipated it will come in another form. And I'm good with that. So there's no pressure. There is an effortless action taking, in the way you are. And that creates magical results. So there's no question of burnout there.
Right. So the next word is the energy leak.
Whoever I am in terms of my presence is a ball of energy. Okay. Sometimes I feel too many open loops cause energy leaks. Or too many energy vampires in your environment can create a leak for you. But essentially, if you get down to it, you decide who gets your energy, who doesn't, what gets your energy, what doesn't. So you're entirely responsible for it. Nobody can take your energy from you if you don't allow it. So yes, it's controllable, and I think it's just bring it in your awareness. ACE mindset. Awareness changes everything.
The danger of manifesting when ego takes over your soul.
Wow. Okay, so it's like saying that good things happen to bad people, for instance, right? It's in the same space. So I do know people who they go on a so-called power trip when they've manifested good stuff for themselves. I don't think it's such a bad thing to be on a power trip if you don't damage anybody involved. If a person is feeling like they're riding the wave and they're on top of the world, let them be joyous about it. So long as they're not harming themselves or other people, it's okay. Yeah, there are people we listen to on a daily basis who berate themselves, belittle themselves, and say, "Nay, I'm not." Like what? Yeah, like they'll joke about how insufficient they are or fat they are. The exact opposite can also happen. Somebody can be in your environment and praise themselves. No problem. Makes you happy? Do it. So long as it doesn't damage anybody, okay. But yeah, if they come into a place which is extremely egocentric, where my happiness matters more than yours, then we have a problem. Then that there could be a problem. But that will always backfire on their manifestation. Because if there is any harm coming to somebody knowingly, and you are still insisting on pushing the way forward, plant a cactus seed, get a cactus plant.
Yeah.
No morality here. Only simple consequence of cause and effect. Consequence of your action.
Right. So now coming to the final segment or the final part,
Okay.
co-creation.
Wow. We are co-creating all the time. Always.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that one word, co-creation?
Okay. So essentially, I believe we are all manifestations of the source. So we are all energy experiencing itself in human form. We are enjoying the limitations of our human form because we are here to play. Now, when I say that I'm creating something as a human at my human level, like for example, cooking a meal, making a coffee, these are physical actions for me. But who is making that? My spiritual self. That's the universe experiencing itself in a coffee making process. That's co-creation. Take it to a manifestation level, energy level, visualizing, intention setting, everything is in the energy world, right? But my actions are in the physical world. Co-creation again. So when I say to the universe, I want XYZ, this is what I believe I deserve, I connect to having it. Now I'm going to go out and work for it. How you bring it? Your problem. Co-creation. So now I am allowing the universe to do its job. Rather than pushing the universe to give me a small teddy bear, I'm saying, get me whatever size you feel I'm vibrating at. Maybe it'll be 10 times bigger than what I thought, because that's where I am at. So why limit? Which is why, again, in the case of money, I said, don't go with the number. Number is just a marker for you, what the number can do. Because the same experience you can have with 5 crores or 50 crores. Depends on how you live your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? So the number is not significant. It's the intention, the benefit, the feeling of having it. What does it do for you? Co-creation. So I tell you how I want to feel. You bring me what it is that I need to feel it. Co-creating with the universe.
Wow. That's great. Now, coming back to the point where we started, manifesting money.
Okay.
If I'm starting my manifestation journey today, particular to money, how do you want my mindset to be?
Primary is identify deep-seated beliefs that are restricting you. Without changing your belief system, there's no way you can have abundance in your life. So correcting, identifying, which means digging deep, especially because it'll get very uncomfortable, you will not like it, but that without doing that, you can't move forward. So first is identifying the limiting beliefs. Second is replacing them. So the process of replacing doesn't just happen with repeating affirmations on a daily basis unless you feel them, right? So instead of going, again, like I say, don't jump too many numbers in the scale. Don't go from 1 to 7. It's difficult, almost impossible, because it's impractical. Go from a 1 to a 2. So if you find a negative belief that you have about money, replace it with the closest positive belief that you can have and work on getting evidence for that belief. So all the inspired action, channel it towards supporting the new belief system. Because otherwise your mind will keep putting up resistance. It will keep opposing everything that you have worked to create. And if you don't have your mind obeying you, your subconscious will manifest what the hell it wants, because it's already programmed to do it. Right? You will have zero control over the action or result. So that would be it. Gathering evidence, that would be the next step. Yeah? And once you start seeing a change in your behavior, once you start seeing a change in your words, your thoughts, your actions, start celebrating it. That is a very, very important part. Because even a small victory is a victory. that would not have been possible had you not replaced certain beliefs in your system. So every win matters. Every win matters. And one practical point I would say is, especially for those who are in debt right now, don't wait to get out of debt to create wealth. Please don't do that. That is not practical. You are going to have whatever income you might have, even if it's 10 rupees. Okay, like it's not literally $10, but like a small income. The point is, allocate it in such a way where debt recovery, okay, you're actually going through a process of repaying, not recovery, repaying your debt, but investing your money at the same time. So two different categories that you need to handle simultaneously. Because the more you're evenly focused, or whatever your allocation can be, the more you start adding into your investing account, the faster your debt will go down. Because the more this grows, and this grows by magic of compounding interest, right? The more you do this, it doesn't have to be a large amount. It just has to be a consistent habit. Growing wealth is not about the amount at all. It is only about consistent investment. And the more you do this, the faster your debt will go down. So yeah, that I'll definitely say. Don't wait to create wealth till you're done with your debt.
That's very, very well said. Thank you. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be doing that, investing and manifesting money. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
God bless.